YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. Something all new from Volantex. Look at this beautiful Spitfire. It is absolutely to die for. It is bigger, brushless, and super detailed. We've never seen a pilot like this in a ready to fly from Volantex, which is pretty awesome. And I think we may have on the F4U Corsair, but as you can see, it's not doing anything even though the battery's plugged in, and that is because I'm going to arm it and then it's going to work. So as you can see, it's now working. We have a steerable tail wheel. We have squishy tires on all three, spring-loaded, nice gear door. We did cant our landing gear forward to closely match the look and feel of a Spitfire because they did not come canted forward. We'll show you that in our unbox, which will immediately follow this flight. But look how nice the paint jigging is. And they even use like this little pseudo reflective stuff. I'm not sure if that's a decal. It sure looks like jigging and paint work, but man, it is beautiful. And so if we are getting to this echelon, they are dangerously close to UMX territory. And we are gonna take off right now. We made our long runway just for these size planes. Just kidding, guys. Great. You can fly these off of a sidewalk. Okay, one touch aerobatics as usual, and we're gonna go ahead and take off from beginner. Camera crew and I are gonna stay right where we would normally film from. And in the air, plenty of elevator authority. Haven't screwed with anything in terms of changes to the setup, but I will tell you one thing in these lighting conditions. Wow, that bottom looks great. High visibility contrast. The brown and very true to scale camo will make this thing disappear. By the way, it's about 50% throttle and feels a little bit underpowered at 50, but you know, we've got a whole lot of throttle left. Here's full throttle. Yeah, that's pretty good. In beginner mode, look at the range. Holy cow, did I just flip it over? Nope, I tricked it, that's all. So as you can see, I'm just gonna fly it. It's very easy when I let go of the sticks. It's got a little bit of an upward flight pattern, and it's gonna go into this stally thing, but I am not even touching the controls, okay? So we'll turn it around, bring it right back toward us. One warning as you are a beginner pilot, if you are a beginner pilot, these planes, man, they're so quiet now too, which is funny because you wouldn't think it'd make that big of a difference. Beautiful in the sun. A beautiful sunset here in fall in central Iowa, USA. Here we go. A little bit of downward elevator. Man, that looks great. Guys, we just extended and poured that intersection there, and we've got more coming. I must say the flight mode for beginner is really good. It's a lot more refined than what we have in the past. Now going to the intermediate mode. Looks like it's probably gonna let us bank a little bit more. There's the limit on the right. There's the limit on the left. I'm gonna do an elevator now. It does let you flip upside down, but I think it kind of goes into a pseudo override and digital automatic. Whoa, that was crazy. I don't know what the heck that was. Scooch forward back to your more conventional spot there. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna slow down, try to take a landing real quick. We'll just bring this in, just let out of the throttle. There it is. Okay, now I'm gonna tell you something. In this intermediate mode, I noticed that when I'm pushing down on the nose, it wants to fall all at once. I'm not sure if it's a stall or what. Oh, and before we continue the flight, 2S 400 milliamp hour JST equipped with a Hextronics balance lead, so you can charge this on your standard chargers, provided you have the right adapters. And if you're using Spectrum chargers like we do, we have been using them for years, which are IC3 to JST, but you might need something different on yours. But as you can see, this is a 25C pack. 2S seems to be doing the trick. In terms of CG, there is no markings in the manual. So what I'm gonna do is I'll show you the one touch aerobatics next. I'm gonna go ahead and take off in Expert. This has no stabilization in Expert from what I can tell. But so far so good. Feeling quite tail heavy. You can see the porpoising. In the power, we're good. I've got it kind of relaxed into a decent flight pattern. Woo! But as you can see, we just genuinely ducked because, yeah, I'm guessing this thing is quite tail heavy. Okay, back to beginner mode. And one suggestion to a Volantex or X-Flyer, whatever you want to call yourself today, get a CG in the manual. I mean, it's not really that hard to do. And then make it so that the battery that's coming with it is pretty much only going to go in one position. I'm gonna show you one trick that's gonna help you bring the CG to make this just a little bit more nose heavy versus tail heavy. You can tell it's very twitchy on that elevator axis, but we do have reasonably good authority, so it's not terrible. I just think for the beginner and the layman, it's gonna be kind of tough, because as you can see, as you get out of the power, you get that really aggressive pitch down moment. You can stay there. One thing too to keep in mind, these props do pop off, but on the brushless setup, they're a little harder popping off, which means you're a little more likely to actually break one of the blades on there. So throttle cut is not on because there is no throttle cut. That's the other thing. Be careful with your throttle management. And these batteries, I have it put lengthwise like this, okay? I'm gonna see, it is a tight squeeze. I'm gonna see if I can rotate that down and see if I can remanipulate the positioning of this pack so that it's in a better angle. And you can see this is one of the challenges with this battery pack type. Now you can also pull off this little bottom, and there's a DSM-X, or DSM-2 rather. It's just DSM is what they call it. And then there is a S-Bus. And they're both on the board, but you have to provide that satellite receiver should you decide to do it. Now, I'm gonna try to put this so that it's a little bit more, you know, weight of it is going forward a little bit. It doesn't take a ton of adjustment to make a big impact on a plane like this, but also keep in mind when you pull the landing gear off, that's gonna change the flight trajectory. It's gonna change the weight and balance. And to be honest with you, you know what I might try? I'm just gonna put the second battery in here. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I don't think I'm gonna be, whoa! That's one of the reasons why you like these planes, because you couldn't do that with another brand. They would probably break. These are made with some resilient foam. They will scratch and mar and get dinged up, but they're still gonna fly, and they're gonna look pretty good passing the 3 or 4 feet test. I can't fit the second battery in there, guys.
No.
Not even a hope. See, it's not even close. But I did reposition it, and we'll see if that kind of helps shift things forward a little bit. You could always put more weight in the nose, but you're gonna have a hard time taking weight off of here, aside from maybe taking off the tail dragger, which is just a very, very small amount of weight. I don't think it's gonna be enough to matter. Also, putting on the landing gear a little bit challenging, but that forward cant did seem to give us pretty good flight performance there. So we're gonna go back to expert here and see if we can get this thing to fly worth a darn. Ground handling leaves a little something to be desired. Full up elevator, and yes, you can sort of make a suggestion. As you can see in expert, we just are really, really, really tail heavy, and so it makes it incredibly pitch sensitive. Now, it does make it pretty aerobatic, which is cool if that's what you're after. The other thing is you have to be in the throttle so hard, and it really showcases some of the weaknesses of this model, unless you're just into doing loops over and over again, and then you're actually pretty good off. So you can see even there it wanted to tip a wing. So I would just suggest intermediate and beginner. Now in beginner, we'll go ahead and do a one-touch aerobatics, okay, about 50%, 70% throttle, pressing and then pulling back on the elevator. It's gonna execute a time-based elevator up, and then it's gonna come out of it. Now keep in mind, that is going to be for us just a timing-based thing. The flight controller is still gonna be active. Now, pressing the button, roll to the right. As you can see, we lost lots of altitude. That's because there is no altitude correction as you do that. Again, 100% throttle now, pressing and rolling the other way. Didn't do it. I don't know why. Maybe I was too fast. Maybe it was too, okay, so we'll try again. Pressing and rolling. There it goes. Yeah, it does roll both ways, as we've seen from others. Let's see if we can slow it down. One of my biggest complaints on this plane is it is a gorgeous model, but I want better flyability. And the only way you're gonna get, you see how it stalls with that upward angle of attack? You're never gonna land a Spitfire with the nose up like that. You're just not gonna do it because you're gonna crash it in real life. Oh boy, oh boy. Wow, there it is. And as you can see, we have demonstrated, and so I guess it's a good thing for the sake of the video, that the props do pop off and they don't always break. But I will be honest with you, my biggest issue with this model now can be easily corrected, and that is add some weight to the nose. I bet you it'll fly 10 times better. But let's just look at this prop. We have a similar prop adapter to what we've seen in the past years, but it is heavier duty and more robust because obviously with the brushless motor setup, it is, and you can see the 3 wires right there. 3 wires. Can you see them?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And then this, I'll just turn up the throttle so you can see it. You hear how quiet that is?
Yeah, it is quiet.
Okay. So it appears to be a direct drive. I have not seen the brushless motor on this. I'd like to see one someday. So maybe when we crash run really bad, we'll do that. So you have to align that central pin and then get it around the edges, and it goes right on and you're ready to fly. Now this does have a little bit more than 1-to-1 power to weight ratio, but there's some drag issues, and there are definitely CG issues. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop off the gear right now while I'm on my hands and knees here. So these are a little bit tricky to pop off. They're hard to put on the first time, but they're a lot better the second time. You'll see that in the Unbox build radio setup, so pop there. And then you can see the forward cant that we leaned into. Okay, so we're gonna do this real quick, like that. Pretty good. And then we're gonna pop these out. Now they are not the easiest ones to get out in the fleet. And I popped my prop off doing it, but that's fine. We'll demo that again, I guess. So then popping off the landing gear, you gotta get your finger down here and separate the metal. They've got a little clip doohickey right there, and it bites really hard, okay? So pop that out. Goodness gracious. See, that rolls all the way forward, and then you can just pull it out. It's not easy to do, and it's kind of, honestly, it's a little bit more than I would like on a micro model, but they are held on nicely. And so for that reason, I'm not gonna complain too much. I just want you guys to be aware, if you're brand new to the hobby, now this just pulls out with a pressure fit. So I am using my middle finger and the fingernail to help stabilize the parts around it so I don't yank out that whole control mechanism, which is gonna continue to work, as you can see, okay? All right, so there's that. Now, what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna go ahead and put the prop on. We'll do some hand launches quick, and then we're gonna let you guys use your imagination on how fun this would be to have for yourself. Now, if you'd like to buy one from the links in the video description below, you'll help support Brian Phillips RC and all the RC addiction things we do. One thing to keep in mind about these things that we do is we've been doing this for about 10 years. We've been building this, what we like to call an aerodrome. As you can see, the runway's been extended, and we started the dam runway, which is where the family car is parked, and it's gonna shoot down there 600 feet by 12. And then you can see the dam gift shop has been erected, and that's a good state to be. So more tips and tricks on that to come. So what we're gonna do is, now that we have the prop on there, we're gonna go ahead and throw this way. I'm gonna go full throttle in beginner mode, give it a little toss, and there it is. I can tell you already, it feels a little bit better. Those vertical landing gear doors were definitely impacting the flight performance to a degree. It looks really good. You can fly this nice and slow, but I'm gonna tell you this, that flight controller is working overtime, folks, because you can tell when a flight controller is working overtime. Man, that looks so gorgeous in the sun. I'm gonna try to get back in the sun and just do a circuit here. You can tell it's working overtime because whenever you give it just the most tightest little input on the elevator, it's pitch, 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 okay? But when I'm out, and it's dead calm, guys, it's really, really calm. The air is thick right now, as you can tell from the beautiful, gorgeous fog we're getting this morning right overhead. Okay. And we do have manned aircraft that is off to our right at about 1,500 to 2,000 feet circling. So we are totally safe, and we're gonna, of course, respect manned aircraft. That's one thing to keep in mind, folks. If you're flying RC, you just need to make sure you're always respecting manned aircraft. Give yourself tons of distance. Don't push it. If they're close, just land and wait. And if you're brand new to the RC addiction hobby, then you're in the right place. Brian Phillips RC is gonna help get you where you wanna be. And we'll do it in a way that's gonna not leave you, hopefully, high and dry, AKA we're not gonna sell you a bill of goods. Every time that one of these manufacturers want us to bring you a product, we're gonna bring you the product with a full disclosure mentality. We want you to understand exactly what's going on and whether or not you think the plane is gonna be worth it. Now, I am gonna tell you this, just tooling around like this makes this plane look really good, but it is highly fly-by suggestion, okay? It is very mechanical feeling. It is very digital feeling. It is very much not free, okay? Where this plane succeeds adamantly in its beauty and scale details and execution, it fails miserably in its flight performance. It flies good, but its controllability is just very lacking, okay? Now, that is a bit of a disappointment because we have had pretty good luck with the F4U Corsair and the P51 in the same size class. Obviously, the Spitfire is gorgeous, and if you're a Spitfire fan, then you are going to understand there are some intricacies to flying Spitfires. They do fly a little bit different than some other planes, which is weird because you'd think it'd be just like every other warbird, but the truth is, they do fly a little bit different. They kind of remind me of the P40. It's a similar look and feel and shape, and there are just some intricacies that, for whatever reason, they perform a little different. And I don't think that's what's going on here. I think it's just genuinely a little bit too tail heavy in the battery installed, the only place it will fit configuration. So if you are getting this and you're thinking, hey, I'm gonna try to squeeze in, yeah, that was almost an unrecoverable stall. Did you say I just cut the grass? Yeah. I would never been able to cut the grass on a 1S one because it would have popped the prop. But man, oh man, that looks good. So pretty good flight time too. Tooling around about 50 to 60% throttle. You can always see that overcorrection when I let off the stick. It's like a porpoise effect. And that's when you can tell when they're not tuned well. Watch this. See that? You see that? You see that? It's kind of like a chatter. I am moving my thumb and then letting off the stick in case you're wondering. I am using the rudder for small fine-tune adjustments. You can see I'm wiggling the rudder as I go now. I'm gonna go over the tree line so you can see it. Wiggling the rudder. There is rudder input and it does impact your controllability. Remember, when you're flying a plane, what I always do, and this might be part of my problem, is that I keep the nose pointed into a natural stall. So like if I want to stall it into the ground, like if I were dead stick right away at any particular point of my flight, I'd want the plane to be pointed down. So when I make a coordinated turn, meaning I use my rudder and my elevator and a little bit of ailerons to kind of get it started, then I coordinate my turn so that the tail keeps the nose pointed ahead of where I'm aiming. And it leads to a really nice looking flight performance. And I'm just gonna let you guys look at the sticks for a second. You see what I'm talking about? I just use these in this general consensus here, and then I just slide the stick based on what needs to happen. I change the rudder and the throttle. That's really what I do. And that makes these nice little circuit passes, which is what the beginner is gonna tend to do. But you see that little oscillation, like porpoisey, sort of looks like a paper airplane that you just made, and you wanna toss it and it just sort of like porpoises its way down. That tells you that we're just definitely a little bit tail heavy, okay? So tail heavy planes typically fly once, especially in the hands of a beginner, but Volantex has done a good job of tuning this for the beginner, but then that leaves me wanting, as a more experienced pilot, I feel like there's a lot more that this plane has to offer. I also feel like if you tried to squish a bigger battery in there, if it were able to handle maybe a 3S pack, I think you'd get better flight performance just because it would be balanced out. However, keep in mind, this thing's like about 126 grams. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's about right.
And so that is a heavy plane, guys. For the size that this is, it's heavy. You wanna know why? Because it's painted a lot. And it's using an EPO style foam and not necessarily EPS like we'd see from a Horizon Hobby Ultra Micro Extreme, okay? So going a little faster here to get over the top of the structure, keep in line of sight, and we'll just bring this down. I'd really like to land it right at our feet, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. No, I wasn't gonna crash. I'm gonna bring this out past the family car. We'll just bring it right to our feet and let it slow down and relax somewhat of into a stall, full up elevator, and then just drop it down. That's one of the things that's so nice about this particular aircraft and the aircraft that Volantex has brought over the years. They're really resilient to damage, but these things are a far cry from what we got when we first started at this, okay?
Yeah.
About 10 years ago. These things are so gorgeous and so detailed and quite a bit more heavy than what we had previously, or kind of like at the beginning of our RC experience. They still use a singular servo on the belly. They've got two servos that are mounted here that of course actuate the rudder and the elevator. They're all stabilized, 3-axis stabilization, plenty of power, good runtime. I didn't even run it dead. But I can tell you this right now, the thing that this struggles with is it needs some nose weight to really perform well. So we might pause, grab a little bit, and try that. We'll come right back. All right, so I just got a nickel, a penny, and a dime, okay? This is a relatively heavy plane, so just to give you an idea of weight, I did mark that as 3 grams, okay? So if that's 3 grams, figure on the dime being like maybe 1.5 grams or 1 gram, and then the nickel's probably about like 7 or 8 grams. I should have weighed them on the scale, but I didn't. What I'm gonna do is I just need that stuff to go up front. And what we wanna do is I can just hold this upside down or right side up. And it feels like it's pretty good, but look how far back my finger is. I need that closer. I need it to be more nose heavy, okay? So I want that to balance. I want that to balance so that it tips forward a little bit more. And what's gonna happen is, if you get a little bit more nose heavy, I feel like this plane, okay, so let's just go with 16 cents, okay? So we got a dime, a nickel, and a penny. I'm just gonna get this in here so it's trapped by the battery, so it can only stay in that physical position up front. You want it as far forward as you can, and I bet that'll make a huge improvement of flight performance. I did not change the battery. I'm in I'm in beginner mode. We'll hand launch this. I can already tell it feels a little better. I haven't touched the controls since I launched. Now I'm gonna touch the controls. The downward is actually a lot better now, which is crazy. You would think you made it more heavy. Why would the down work better? Watch this, guys. I just wanna show you this. As I turn, look at the porpoising. It's gone. Talk about a night and day difference, guys. Look at this. The porpoising, it's gone, okay? See this? Look, I'm trying to induce the porpoise. Look how smooth it is now. Can you tell?
Yeah.
That is crazy how much of a big difference that made. Okay, so that's what you're gonna do to yours. Aircraft ops, still 1,500 feet away. 1,500, 2,000 feet up, roughly, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they're way over there.
They're way over. Now I feel confident to do passes like I normally would. Look how much steeper I'm turning. Look how much more speed I'm comfortable with. A little bit of a flight controller issue between rolling out of a flat and level flight from a steep banking turn. You'll notice it will sometimes jank a little bit on you. That's just a flight controller kind of stabilization. That was a little bit of a downward there. See, now we're even flying up and I can turn it. See, that's what happens because it's trying to correct. Now going to expert, look at this, guys. Look, in expert, wow. It's still a little bit wonkadelic because we don't have the stabilizer to help. And I would feel like, oh yeah, it's definitely still got a little bit of the tendencies it had before, but it feels more muted and a little bit more tame because, of course, a nose heavy aircraft is gonna tend to fly more stable. Now, more stable means I probably need a little bit more weight to make that totally balance out for good expert performance. I am gonna go to intermediate now. Let's go ahead and do some more one-touch aerobatics. Okay, about 50% throttle. Oh, that was a bad correction there. Okay, here we go, full throttle, press the button, oop, it canceled, and pull up. You also notice it's going uphill. I don't think I want it to go uphill like that, so I'm gonna try to trim it. If you guys don't know how to trim, the trimmers are right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I just did like 5 clicks of trim. I need you to take about 5 steps forward. You guys see how porpoisey that is? That's just yours truly. I'm gonna go back to beginner. I feel like they have like more expo in the controls because look how much less porpoisey that is. And by the way, I gotta say, they did a good job on the camo, but man, these camo planes can sometimes be just downright hard to see. And that's one thing you're gonna watch for is when you learn to fly an airplane, you wanna make sure you're doing it in the right conditions, which is calm, good lighting, plenty of time, okay? Try to stall turn it. Yeah, I would say even more. So I did 16 cents, I did a dime, a nickel, and a penny. I would say almost like 15 cents with maybe 2 nickels. 3 nickels and a penny, or 3 nickels would make a big difference. You'd be a little bit better on the center of gravity, in my opinion, okay? So guys, if you don't know much about center of gravity is where the plane pivots, okay? So we're not necessarily concerned with the weight in total. We are concerned with the weight. All up weight matters on an aircraft, and it definitely impacts flight performance, but nothing like the center of gravity. I mean, you can fly a very heavy plane, but if you have a plane that's bad enough out of balance, it literally will crash on takeoff, and it will definitely give you trouble on landing if you can get it flying. So I gotta say, whatever Volantex is doing for their flight controller, they're doing a good job to try to get this thing to behave this good and be beginner and so poorly an expert. And I think what happens is that you get an expo type control, and also when you're doing a beginner plane, what's gonna happen is you're gonna tend to find that they mute the controls so much that you can't over control it, and you tend to fly sticks to the threshold, okay? So that means you're gonna be going all the way to the edges all the time. And so what happens is you end up with this like huge change into expert mode. Okay, so we have a low voltage warning. You can hear it beeping incessantly. And there it is. So we'll just put down like that. So that's pretty sweet. We have telemetry feedback to tell us that we're low voltage. It's very obnoxious. You're definitely not gonna miss it. And guess what? It's not a beep every 1 minute. Oh, it's so tediously annoying.
Yeah.
This is really annoying too. All right, folks. Whoa!
Oh, it's beeping too.
It's beeping. So if you couldn't hear the thing in your hand, you can hear the thing in the air. Also, this will help you find it if you would crash, okay? And slash annoy the heck out of whoever's yard you crash it into,
Yeah.
okay? They aren't making these things anymore from what I heard. So
Yeah,
make sure you hoard the pennies, guys, so you can pay for your, well, I don't think anything costs that little anymore.
I'm just gonna round everything up to the nearest dollar now.
It stopped. That is pretty incredible. Okay, so I'm just gonna give you guys my initial thoughts on this plane. My initial thoughts on this plane are that it's beautiful, okay? It looks the part. It does the things that a beginner might expect, okay? Where it falls short is that it's just not got the refined flight performance that I'd like to see on a micro plane. Now, does that mean that this plane is bad? The answer to that question is no. Do I think that the average beginner pilot is gonna be capable of finding and maintaining a center of gravity without having that printed in a manual? I think that that'd be a big miss by any manufacturer, okay? So if you're looking at buying this as a beginner, I just wanna keep you appraised of one big reality that you won't understand if nobody explains it to you. This is a toy grade flight experience. It is not a hobby grade flight experience. I felt like with the F4U and the P51, we were closer to that. This flies more like the toy grade experiences that we've had in the past, which is a big disappointment for me because we review these planes a lot. Now, does that mean I think this is a step back into the past where we had less performance, worse flight performance, but we hadn't experienced it before, so we were okay with it thinking, hey, this is the right direction. We're improving, right? Not digressing, okay? I'm not gonna say this is a digression or some sort of a change in performance. I can tell you this, they've packed a lot of detail into what is a very small model. They've given us sticks with no sharp edges, and they changed the sticks on this transmitter. I don't know why. Or whoever they're getting these from, the supplier that's supplying these to Volantex, put the sharp sticks back on. That's ridiculous, okay? Make those things screw on like they always have. So just a couple of different things that we're not crazy about. Does that mean this is worse off than maybe the 500s we were getting, the 500 millimeter warbirds that we were getting from some of the competitors that just flew like garbage? No, 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 no. We're a far cry from that. This thing still flies reasonably good, but it's not gonna be out of this world good. And I think my expectations over the years have gotten a lot higher. I am demanding better performance, a lot better performance from these micro planes than I did when I first started. A, I was a terrible pilot. B, I didn't know what to expect. And C, we just didn't have as many of them, okay? Also, the technology has improved a lot on these models. This model is an exceptional model, but I just have higher expectations that it's gonna fly better, okay? So, what are you gonna do if you decide to buy this? You're gonna make sure that you go into the battle with a lot of pocket change, okay? And you're gonna go in there and you're gonna go to the gas station and buy a cup of soda or coffee or whatever it is you like to buy. And you're gonna have them break like a 20, get you like $4 worth of change. and you're gonna figure out the exact combo that works for your model. And I say that totally seriously, because this plane just needs a little weight in the nose, and it's gonna make it fly like a lawn dart because it's already heavy, but it's gonna fly better than it does out of the box, okay? If you got 3 nickels in there and that's what it takes, or 1/4 and a nickel or something like that, and that makes that thing stop the porpoising effect, you're gonna love this plane. It flies pretty good already, okay? And if you're flying in a beginner mode all the time and you're a brand new pilot, you won't know any better. But I want you to know better, because that's what Brian Phillips RC does. We take people out of the chair and into the air, which sounds like we were pushing people out of perfectly good airplanes, but that's not what we do. We want you to learn to fly here. We want you to return to the hobby and, you know, be able to come back and understand the technical jargon and be able to get up to speed just as fast as possible and be flying, okay? So keep in mind, this hobby is one of the harder hobbies you can do. It is not a gimme. Even after 10 years of doing this, I still make a lot of mistakes. I'm learning every time I fly, just like every pilot is. Obviously, we're a little bit more invested than the average Joe with multiple runways and a full-scale strip going in. We're in a little bit different circumstance, but I long for a hobby that has something like this that's so good, I can't complain. It's got LEDs, it's got perfect landing gear, it's got a beautiful scale lines to it. It's made of a good foam that's gonna be resilient. It's got a pop-off prop. We are like 80% of the way there on this. I feel like some of the other offerings from Volantex might have been closer to 85 or 90, okay? They still have some issues. The modes are still not great. I want this, Volantex, if you're listening, which I'm sure you're not. I want 3 modes: auto leveling with stabilization. I want stabilization, and I want off, okay? That way you take care of the old fogies that love flying without any stabilizer and they hate stabilizers like it's demon spawn. That's fine, I get it. There's a lot of people that learn to fly without it and they're very good, okay? I'm not. Then I want the stabilizer for the more experienced pilots. And then I want auto leveling and stabilization for people that don't know what they're doing. I don't need an intermediate stabilized auto leveling effect, okay? So give us what we want. Everybody else is doing it. Everybody else is doing it. Just do what everybody else is doing. In this case, it's a good thing, okay? If you're gonna give us 3 modes, do that. If you wanna have a matrix control where you have stabilizer on a separate switch, fine, but you're gonna confuse the heck out of the average Joe that doesn't know what they're doing. Also, having a one-touch aerobatic button, whatever, take it or leave it. It's fun for people that don't know what they're doing, but I honestly don't think it's that big a deal. I could care less. It's not a feature I need. But what I do want is expert mode, like just stabilization. I want to be able to flip the thing over. I want no bank limitations. I want no pitch limitations. I want to be able to fly it like I stole it. But I want to be able to do it with stabilization so that it takes the edge off of the performance issues from a plane that is poorly balanced, because somebody just got shot. And I want to take the edge off of just the issues that we experience with small models in general. If it's windy, that sort of thing. Shot him again.
They're unloading beams.
I love our neighbors. So at the end of the day, I don't even know if you guys could hear that, but there's a pretty obvious gunshot. So it's dangerous out here. It's a wild, wild west. This is a good plane. These are real concerns. It doesn't mean you can't address them. And it doesn't mean you can't address them with a literal pocket full of change. So price considered, quality considered, this is where the weak spot is. The problems with this model and airframe and performance can be fixed with a pocket of change, okay? Those are my real thoughts. Volantex, if you're listening, fix these things. We've been saying them for years. You should maybe listen. We hear a lot of feedback. It's weird, I know, it's hard to believe. So those of you that disagree vehemently and you don't like that I called you an old fogey, if you're an old fogey, which is like 90% of our audience, guys, by the way, we're with you. We love these things. We want to get young people flying. We want to get middle-aged people flying, and we want to get old people flying, because whatever it takes to get you in the air, we're going to try to do that thing. Because here on Brian Phillips RC, we understand that there are a million things you can do with your time, and even more you can do with your money. Make this one of them. It'll be fun. Check it out. Links in the video description below. Is it the best? No. Is it the worst? Absolutely not. We're going to go through our Unbox Build radio setup next. You can see our findings there, but if you want to support us in the meantime, don't forget to smash the like button, obviously. Click the bell for notifications when you do subscribe, and you'll be notified of new content. And then also, you can support us in 4 or 5 other ways. We have Patreon for monthly support, YouTube membership for monthly support, YouTube super thanks, and then PayPal if you don't want to be part of those groups. You can do one-time donations. But at the end of the day, just remember friends and family, unless you like paying PayPal fees. We don't either. The biggest thing you can do to support us financially, if you want to support us financially, is buy these planes when you like them, okay? We don't care which one you buy. So check out BrianPhillipsRC.com or just type bprc.me, hit enter. That'll take you to the same place, short link. And you can find this plane right next to the competitive offerings, right next to the in-house offerings, the F4U Corsair and the P51 in the same size class with the brushless motors, and see the difference in performance and mentality and how it looked and how it felt. You'll get to feel whether a plane is good by my reactions, because I am easy to read. That's why if you get me a bad gift at Christmas, it doesn't go well.
That's why we don't get you gifts at Christmas.
That's what happens. So I get my own gifts when I need my gifts. That's what we've always done, okay? So at the end of the day, I love RC, I love flying. I have extremely high expectations of planes, especially when they're this gorgeous. I just want the best for our community of RC flyers. I want the best for RC in general. And the best way we can do that is to have good stuff, okay? So we're gonna keep the pressure on the manufacturers to give us near perfect RC experiences. So long as you keep coming back, smashing the like button and buying stuff once in a while when they are good, okay? And believe me, just because it's cheap doesn't mean it can't be good too. But usually when it's cheap, you have to temper your expectations to a degree. I'm not gonna let them get away with poor flight performance. Even if it's cheap, even if it's a Black Friday deal or whatever it happens to be, I don't care what deal it is. I want it to be a good deal, okay? Meaning I want it to fly good. I don't care if it's expensive. I don't care if it's cheap. I don't care if it's somewhere in the middle. If it flies good, we report it, okay? If it flies bad or it has bad habits, we're gonna share those. Let you make the decision. Because here on Brian Phillips RC, we tell the full truth, nothing but the truth. So help us God. And we don't smash our planes off the table as a marketing gimmick. I like these things. I don't want to break them. That's why I crash them into the side of the house all the time. All right, guys, that's all we got for you. Unbox next. Thanks for watching. YouTube. We're gonna open this box right now. It feels kind of light. I know what this is. Do you know what this is?
I sort of know what it is.
Welcome to Brian Phillips RC. We unbox them, we build them, we set them up. Try to help you get out of the chair and into the air or onto the ground, or whatever it is we're doing. It's kind of weird. So thanks for watching. This is an unbox portion of this new release. Okay, this, I can tell I got the wrong side of the box.
Oh, okay.
So I can't get excited yet.
Oh.
Because it's something we already did.
Oh, hopefully.
See, we already did that.
Oh.
Yeah, so there must be a two-sided box.
Two-sided box, let's hope.
Oh, it's a Spitfire. Wow, from X Hobby, AKA Volantex, right?
Yes, correct.
So guys, check the links in the video description below. You can buy one for yourself. This is the Legends Warbirds F4U Corsair we did not too long ago. Actually, it was kind of a long time ago. And now they have the Spitfire, which is all new. They've had a Spitfire for some time. But yeah, look, there's the ambiguous red line through the black backdrop.
Perfect.
So plug and play. Wow, amazing. Okay, so they have an offering for plug and play now. That's got to be
I think
awkward.
it's similar to the RC era
Cut.
transmitters. Like, you just bind it to whatever transmitter you have.
Is that why they say plug? So anyway, here on Brian Phillips RC, we unbox them, we build them, we radio set them up as well. Ooh, I have it upside down. Be careful. Don't open it like I did. Here's the transmitter, folks. This is basically the ready to fly version. So we've got the regular transmitter, ailerons, elevator, rudder, and throttle. Okay, and then there's a one-touch aerobotics, and that would, one-touch loop, one-touch aileron roller, one-touch aileron roll, and we'll just put that right there. They also have like some one-touch U-turn function, which is the stupidest thing ever in the history of time. So we don't even talk about it. We pretend it doesn't exist because we don't want you to use it because it'll just screw you up. All it does is like, hey, I'm flying this way. One touch U-turn. Oh yeah, well in a perfect world, it might turn around towards you. Or maybe you're flying this way and you're actually going that way and you push one touch U-turn and it goes over there. And then you're like, where's my plane? My point is don't do it. Don't do it, okay? There's that, so we'll put this box back here for you to enjoy. And if you happen to open upside down, I'm gonna tell you this from personal experience, be careful because it might drop out. You gotta be a little bit careful flipping it if you do that, okay? There is some tape holding it in, thankfully. Ooh, 3-bladed props, yeah, baby. Beautiful, by the way. I gotta say, these things are looking better and better. Every time they come out with a new version, we seem to be getting more detail, which is really nice. Okay, these props are pop-on, pop-off props. So I'll show you what I mean by that. They are going to help protect themselves from a strike with the ground, and believe me, you will, with this quick detach mechanism. It's got this little clip, and it will just pop right on. In fact, we're gonna have to pop one on because it does not come with the prop on. But you know, if you wanna talk about easy things to do, that's one of them, okay? So let's go ahead and unpack all the goodies. Camera crew, if you could grab my sack for me, that'd be great. Comes with the batteries in this case. Oh, by the way, if you guys are brand new to the channel, here on Brian Phillips RC, my wife is a camera crew. Her name is Megan. I do not call her camera crew off camera, nope. But she is the camera crew. Ooh, a fancy dance. Look at that, beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Now we have seen, wow, look, even this metallic paint, beautiful.
Yeah, that's nice.
That is gorgeous. The pilot is 3D. Oh. Wow, it's not a piece of paper. That's awesome.
Cool.
So I can see we still have one servo that's super dinky. Volantex, if you're listening, I'm sure you're not. Maybe you do too. That'd be crazy. Same thing back here. We've got the singular servo, singular linkage for the elevator and rudder. But I gotta say, the thing feels heavy. I hope it flies with it. It
seems heavy just the way you're holding it.
And this is a now brushless motor. And you can see it's kind of held still into those magnetic positions. Let's go ahead and pop the prop on here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna just stick it on there and just rock it on. Now, keep in mind, these are gonna be a little harder to pop on than the brushed motor versions, and here's why. First of all, you can see there's a place for the pedals to line up. And then secondly, this is a brushless motor system, so it's a lot more power, okay? That looks really good. Beautiful spinner, beautiful details. I would say like near ultra micro extreme UMX from Horizon style looks. I mean, it's very good. In fact, it might be a little better than some. But remember, flyability is what we actually like. And so when it comes to hobby grade stuff, this is where it's gonna shine. So we've got some landing gear pockets here. Ooh, steerable tail wheel. Sweet, so that's new. All right, so we're gonna put this out of the way. And when I say steerable tail wheel, I mean some of the other smaller warbirds didn't have steerable tail wheels. They were just stuck in the back, okay? This feels bulky. It's got beautiful scale lines. I would say for a Spitfire, it's maybe missing the mark a little bit on some of the scale line detail, but I like the way it looks. Spitfires are very slender back here in real life, and we've done a few big models of Spitfires recently. 1600 millimeter, Hobby King had a release not too long ago. Beautiful rendition. Huge pain in the butt to build. Remember that one?
I do, yes.
I do too, it sucked.
Yeah.
The build was terrible, but the plane was great.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, but also guys, just to give you an idea, 1600 millimeters, you're like, okay, well this is 500 millimeters. Is this 500?
I think it's 500.
I think it's 500. Kind of feels like it might be a little bigger. Yeah, see, it's a stupid one key aero bag. That's cool.
Right.
X-Pilot, that's good. Fully assembled brushless power. They don't even have a list the U-turn.
Maybe they got rid of it.
Maybe they dumped it. They should, if they didn't. Yeah, it doesn't even say what the size is. Are you kidding me? Why? That's so goofy. Does it say in the manual?
I don't know.
But yeah, they do have an F4U Corsair too. And yes, we have links to those. So we'll link to both of them.
And we have a P51 if it's the 500 millimeter. They're all brushless.
We have the brushless one?
Yeah, the blue. It's a blue and yellow one.
So real quick. Batteries, we're gonna get these charging. JST equipped, I love that. So we don't have to use a micro pH connector. And then Hextronics balance lead. This is a 2S. It's 400 milliamp hour, 2S, so 7.4 volts, 25C pack. That's a pretty big battery. By the way, when you order these, make sure you order them with as many batteries as you can afford to get, because they are really cheap with these planes, okay? So, like, if you're gonna go try to source them somewhere else, you're not gonna probably find them a whole lot cheaper than this.
No.
And that's coming from experience. I mean, we use a lot of Spectrum stuff, which are not cheap. They're more expensive, but they do hold up well. But you can't get a smart battery that's this size, okay? So you're gonna hook up the balance lead, and the balance lead is gonna go like this. And then the battery management system is built into this little circuit. As you can see, there's a circuit board. And we're gonna go ahead and plug this in. This is USB-A to balance lead, and I'll show you how to use a more proper hobby grade charger as well, but we'll just whip this one out right now. Just a standard run-of-the-mill, nothing special charger. This one puts out 5.2 volts at 1.35 amps, so the world's most obnoxious power rating. It's not just 2 at 5, it's gotta be 5.2 at 1.3, whatever. Okay, so we have a green and red flashing light. Again, we have deviated from every other color scheme we've ever used. I think the hobby community, they get together and they're like, oh, how we changed this time? That's what they do. They get together and have meetings just about that. Like, how do we confuse the average Joe based on the conditions of our lights?
It's green. Oh, now it's flashing.
Okay, so listen. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna whip this out. Whoa, what is that?
Where'd
The
that come from?
XBC 200, not 100. We're unplugging this turd charger and we're gonna plug this in. Booyah, watch this, boom. Negative goes all the way up. Yeah, 69%, now 68.
68.
It relaxed.
It didn't say
It did too say
69.
69. I swear it
Did
did.
not. You're
So look,
stupid.
3.942 and 3.937. Okay, so sweet. Now we'll charge it on the provided charger, and we'll just let that charge for a minute and we'll come back and show you. By the way, if you guys didn't know this, these JST connections are super similar in proximity to the plugs. And so if you ever really want to screw with stuff, you can take the negative lead and you can actually plug it in and test across the port just like that. And it's gonna be like, oh my goodness, your cell is about to catch on fire.
Don't tell people to do it wrong.
There's no wrong way to do it. You just stick it in there. If it catches on fire,
Then that
that
was
would be
wrong.
the wrong way to do it. But full disclosure, these batteries are reasonably cheap in here, so I'd highly recommend it. Now, if you're just, you know, hey, I want to support Brian Phillips RC, so I just want to order some spare batteries because I got enough planes. My wife is trying to leave me and yada, yada, yada. So yeah, then you can probably find these on the website.
You can, yeah.
But just follow the link like you're going to buy the plane and then just look for the accessory. And you may notice we have a few other batteries in here. This is part of the problem we have right now. You have just a few different batteries, a few different charging options. Oh, look at that. So IC3 to JST. We're going to plug it into this here, which is our standard run-of-the-mill S2200. It's like my favorite charger that I use pretty much all the time. This is going to populate the screen with 7.8 volts. And then we're going to plug this in. So this is not a smart battery. So you just plug it in, and then what you'll do is you'll set your charge rate by pressing play. 1.5 might be a little fast. This would be a 0.4 amps for 1C, and since it's dark and we're not going to be flying anytime soon, we'll just charge at 1C. Okay, and then it starts. This is a 2S at 1C. Okay, 2 cells in series charged at 1C on a 400 milliamp hour would be 0.4 amps. So just take 400 divided by 1,000, that gives you the number of amps. And it's amp hours. So now look, now it's charging at 0.4 amps, and you can see how many milliamp hours have gone into the pack, which is kind of nice. It's very slow, okay? 3 milliamp hours at 0.4. Now you can also charge this a little bit faster, typically 2.5 times. If it's a 25C pack is usually my rule of thumb. So if it says it's a 30C pack, you could usually get away with about 3C. Okay, so since it says 2.5, it'd be 2.5 times 400 would be your answer. So I would go up to like 0.8 or maybe 1 amp. Okay, should be safe. That being said, the safest way to charge batteries is where you can see, hear, and smell. So I'm out on the last one. If you guys didn't know, I hit my head on the concrete, and that's why I'm weird. No,
No.
I was weird before.
Yes.
Now I'm weirder. because I
Now
can
you
only
just can't
smell
smell.
a little bit. I can smell some stuff now.
A little bit. It's
I'm getting
coming
some
back.
of my sense of smell back. If anybody is watching this video and you're like, hey, ooh, that happened to me. I hit my head on the concrete and lost my sense of smell. Let me know in the comments below what you did to get it back.
Yeah.
Okay, grab them. Both, hold on. Gotta grab both at the same
Those are
time.
tiny.
No, just put them both in your hand and squish
They're
them.
so cute.
They are. I love them. Yeah, they're so soft, guys. So supple. And I love just a big squishy pair. So I'm going to just put these landing gear on, but I want to see how to put the gear door on. By the way, I got to say, some of the nicest landing gear we've ever seen on a Volantex X Hobby lineup. Okay, so pop this in. Now we're going to go to the outboard portion here. As you can see right there, snap it in. It doesn't want to go all the way back. And then I'm assuming this is going to go, oh, you know what? That's wrong. I put it in wrong. It's supposed to go here. That spring goes to the inboard portion because that's where you're going to land your gear door. And that's too bad because I was hoping I could get a wider stance. If you guys are brand new to the hobby and you're just trying to figure out the best way to do this, just push them in and then snap it with your fingernail back. You do have to snap it back. It's kind of hard. Okay, then these gear door are inboard on a Spitfire. So you can see you kind of have to rock this in just like that. It's gonna pop in, woo! And then there's a snap here. Trying to do it where you can see with the lighting, okay? This will snap in and it's gonna make, geez, you can see how soft they are. It's beautiful. Oop, I missed. Just stick it between the two and then kind of, ooh, goodness gracious.
Are you sure that's right?
This one's actually left. Are you confused? Yeah, I'm sure it's right.
Okay.
Oh, good lordy lord. That was like not going in very good. Let's see if I can do the other one the correct way. So you see this? That is most definitely right. I'm gonna try snapping it in here. Oh my goodness. We're gonna do it with pliers, guys.
Okay.
So full disclosure, the landing gear on these little ultra micro style Volantex planes are usually not like the best part of the plane.
Right.
Okay. They are generally very, iffy, if that. They have gotten a lot better over the years. Okay. So coming in here, right behind the squishy pair. Gosh, it is hard to get in there.
They're also kind of optional.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, you don't have to do the landing gear, but I want to know if they're going to work.
No, I know. So we'll show them.
So guys, what we do on Brian Phillips RC is we show the full truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God. Which means that like if something sucks, we're gonna show it sucking. Oh, there it goes, that worked. I bet it's gonna be easier now, but look how stiff that is now. That's beautiful, and it looks really dang good.
So they're inboard like that? That's
Yeah,
so weird.
because the gear would go out like this.
Out, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we did that Hobby King one not too long ago. Did you forget already?
I have PTSD.
You blocked it out?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna take this unspring loaded, but yeah, it ain't gonna matter. It's spring steel anyway. To be honest with you, that little spring doohickey ain't gonna do anything anyway. I didn't know why they put it in there. Just make it straight. Save the money on the manufacturing process. Yep, snapped it in for the first time, makes it easier. It should be fine after that though. And then this goes like that. And you know how you can tell I did it wrong? Because those, I think that might need to be the other way. Is it? No, I did it right. I did it right. Because yeah, that is correct.
Yeah, because it has to
Seems like
snap
it
in
should
from
be.
the front.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to snap them the other way, right?
No, you
See,
wouldn't.
there'd be no way to get them in there. But
No.
doesn't that seem like that'd be right?
No, I was right, like always.
Didn't you challenge that it was correct? Okay, so we're gonna slide this in, just like this.
Explain it to the people.
Oh, for God's sake. This is kind of a pain. So here on Brian Phillips RC, we show the full painful process. I about broke it. I about broke it right there. It didn't break, but it was dang close, so be careful. Give them a good view so they can see what the heck's going on, please. See this? It is quite difficult to do this. Okay, now that it's held down, I'm gonna snap it from the, man, that is really awkward. Sorry guys, I gotta pull the wheel up and out of the way and then try to get this thing in here. Oh, yep, there it goes, maybe. No, yep, no. Gosh, that was terrible.
That was kind of a pain.
But they look pretty good. They're not canted forward enough, and they're too small. That ain't gonna track very good, is it? I think they're too small. The wheels should be canted forward more. Don't you think?
Probably.
Okay, so we could bend them if you wanted. Oh, by the way, this is another drive. This is how you hook up. So like if you have a problem, then you can replace this on your output shaft of your motor, okay? So this, I'm going to carefully put into my bag of goodies,
Yep.
okay? And we have had relatively good luck with these planes, and we still break props on a routine basis. Usually when I'm like running into a garage door or something stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see this? Squishy pair, even on the tail wheel. That's awesome, guys. I gotta say, Volantex is doing a good job with a lot of these details. It's just that sometimes, like, okay, so it gotta go this way. See? You gotta go that way. See how it's like taller? That's the only way it's gonna fit. Otherwise, it's not going in there. Oh yeah, that's right. See, and the steerable, pretty awesome. Straightened out. Looks pretty sweet, but again, this is gonna wanna nose over like fiercely because that gear needs to be canted forward some. So my suggestion is if you have any issues with this, you're gonna wanna cant this by bending that right at the inboard portion of that, and these gear door are not gonna work. Not if you cant them. I just wonder if you can't.
You can't?
You can cant them.
Are you sure you can?
Okay, look, watch this. Stop trying to confuse the audience, camera crew. See, antenna? That's sweet. That's a really nice looking plane.
It is cool.
That is a deal breaker. That's getting canted right now. I'm not even gonna mess with it because you know it's gonna be a problem immediately. It's gonna be a problem immediately, camera crew.
Okay.
Don't try to second guess your awesome husband. He never makes mistakes.
Never, ever.
Ever. Okay, I'm just gonna pop this out right now because I guarantee you it's gonna be terrible if we don't. Okay.
But they won't know.
I don't care.
We don't show them.
I don't care. We're gonna fix it right now.
Okay.
So here on Brian Phillips RC, there are a few times that we take these liberties, and this is one of them because, ow, because that is not enough angle. So watch this. El Holdo, El Canto. Okay?
That's a Disney movie.
What are you talking about? See, look. Now it's canted forward. I might have gone a little bit overboard. Yeah, it's probably too much.
Okay.
Too much. And look, I didn't glue this in either. But we could show some China glue.
I wonder if it tells us to glue
pay
it in.
attention. Camera crew.
I'm always paying attention.
El Foldo. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this one out simultaneously. So we showed how to do it stock, and then we're going to show you how to fix it. That's not an unusual thing here on Brian Phillips RC. Usually it's because like we decide halfway through, like that's a stupid design. So we're going to fix it. Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of these landing gear. They're kind of a pain to get on. And they're not, they're soft and everything, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm going to probably have them off because this thing looks sweet without.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so watch.
Usually we take them off.
We're going to El Canto this one too, okay? So make sure you got it square, and then El Canto. Ooh, see it's bending right there? You don't want that to bend. You got to hold that like that. Then you can just El Bendo. El Canto. See, look. It's like El Chapo. Ooh. Look, guys. Hold them side by side like this. Just like that, and you can tell if they're even. Are they? Gotta make sure they're square. Oh, yeah. This one's not enough. I gotta go just a little bit more. El Canto. See, look. Go back like this. Just a little bit. Tiny bit more. Or as our son would put it, tiny bit more.
Yep.
Okay. He doesn't say it that way anymore. But it was cute when he did. See? Now they're even.
Okay.
Okay? So now they're even?
Yep.
See? See? Okay. I keep speaking Spanish today. See? All right, slide it in. Snap it. Just like this, guys, right there. Okay, and then we're gonna throw this in here and snap it. So guys, welcome to Brian Phillips RC. We do our best to teach you how to fly them so that you can live the RC dreams in your own reality, okay? So don't just live vicariously through Brian Phillips RC. Actually order some of these things from time to time from the links in the video description below. You'll help support Brian Phillips RC financially when you order from the links, and then you'll be able to enjoy them based on and honest review. Look how much nicer that looks. That's
amazing.
Listen.
I can't believe it.
Before I was just, it was garbage can. Like I wasn't even gonna fly it. I was just gonna throw it away. Now it's like, wow, that's, wow.
Those did snap on.
Yeah, way better. Okay, so that forward can't, you guys that don't think it's important, do it stock and tell me how fast it noses over. I don't think you'd make it 10 feet.
I wouldn't make it 10 feet anyway.
Well, I would make it at least 9 feet then.
Okay.
If you made it 10 feet. So guys, here on Brian Phillips RC, we're gonna show you how this battery charged. We're at 77 milliamp hours forced into that pack. That is an incredibly slow charge rate. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm not gonna take it.
Where are you going?
I'm not gonna take it. I'm going up to, let's see, okay, so if we did 1, it would be 4.4. If we did 2, it'd be 0.8. If we did 3, it'd be 1.2. But I wanna do it at, dang it, why does it time out? It would be 1 amp. Okay, so we're just gonna charge it at 1 amp, and you'll notice that the numbers start counting up quicker. And we're just gonna pop this out of the charger, stick it into the XBC 200, which by the way, it has IC5, IC3, and IC2. Amazing. That's pretty sweet, right? Mm-hmm. Look at that, 88%. That's pretty sweet. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll plug this back in, just show you the progress. At some point, we'll show you how it charged, okay? At the end of the day, what are the dangerous things in this hobby? Props and batteries, okay? It's really not like people running into themselves, although I'm sure that happens, especially a plane of this echelon. It's getting to where it's a little bit heavier. You could actually like whack into your head and it would be uncomfortable. But the truth is these foamies are relatively safe. So if you're thinking about getting this for your kids, will you slide that down, please? If you're thinking about getting this for your kids for Christmas, just make sure you get 2. One for you and 1 for them.
Yep.
Okay. Don't get 1. You will highly regret that decision because you're going to want to play with these things. And I got to say, these are getting to be really well done. They have enough sturdiness. They have enough density. They have a lot better detail involved. And then if you want to change the protocol, right down here, you can pop this out and you can get to the serviceability part. So I'm just going to take one for the team here, guys. Watch. I know, I could get a tool. Should I get a tool?
You could,
Otherwise, I'm gonna make it all look uglified.
Yeah.
So this is how you would get in. Oh, look, this one's done. 94 milliamp hours is all we had to stuff in. So just grab a flat bladed screwdriver and just kind of go in there. Just get some deep penetration. Then once you penetrate it deep enough, you can pop that right out. You see what I'm talking about? Look, there's a DSM-X plug back there, if I remember, or DSM-2. Yeah, it says S-Bus on the back, and then it says DSM. So show them. Nope. Get the angle. That's the angle. You guys see that? S-Bus and DSM. Okay? So if you have one of these little micro receivers, you can put those in, and then you can fly on your Spectrum transmitter, which is pretty sweet. But you're not going to find me doing a lot of that. We have done it before. And unfortunately, when we did it, it was back when they were working through the bugs and the 500 sucked.
It was not Volantex.
It was, yeah, that was a knockoff brand. That's right. Okay, this thing says it's done. Okay. I'm unplugging it from the charging apparatus. Let's check it on the XBC 200. Yes, we'll link to that too. It's
say it like that every time now.
XBC 200. 94%. What is wrong with you, charger?
See, when you do it too fast.
Are you saying that when I do it too fast, sometimes we miss the mark?
Yeah.
Okay, 92%. There's a disagreement here. Okay, so listen, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna plug this in. I'm gonna show the people. 4.13.
Wait.
4.13 per cell, okay? Why did you stop, thing? I'm gonna go back down to 0.4 and I'm gonna hit start, like the camera crew said.
See?
We'll see if it gets it all. Okay, but in the meantime, let's look at the factory charge. This is actually not too bad, okay? We've been pretty happy with the way this has worked so far. So plug that in, negative goes all the way to the top. And we're at like 86%. So we are gonna go ahead and use this battery to continue our testing, okay? So our testing is going to constitute plugging in the battery. We call this an unbox build radio setup, which means we unbox it, we build it, we set up the radio. Obviously, we're not doing a lot of build on this. We don't mean to, trick anybody, but like for instance, If we're doing that Super Tucano or that Catalina or the Carbon Z T28 or this Airbus A320, Megan, or the F7F or whatever that is back there, the NG Extra. It doesn't matter what plane it is. We either do an unbox build radio setup right up front when we're building it, and then we just flip the script and we show the flight first, or we show the flight and then we have a separate video called Unbox Build Radio Setup. And the Unbox Build Radio Setup will go through all the steps it takes to start from a box and fly it, okay? If you don't see what you like on this plane, or you're like, yeah, that's lame, it's too small, or it's lame, it's too cheap, or it's lame, it's too expensive, or whatever, it's lame to you in any way. You don't like Spitfires, maybe you're fighting for the other team, I don't know. All I know is this: if you don't like this video and you want to see something different, go to brianphillipsrc.com or bprc.me and you can find exactly what you're looking for up against this particular product. There'll be some dorky guy in the same exact shirt holding it, smiling, and there probably is like some grain bins in the background or something, okay? And you'll be able to compare and contrast. Size, quality, experience. We try to do it in similar conditions. We fly from obviously our own personal strip, and we have now almost got 2 of them. We've got an extra 85 feet on this. We're now up to 300 feet, which is nice. So we can do our cars on it. And then we have a 600-foot strip that we're building right now currently, and we are 85 feet down the 600-foot strip, and we only have 13,500 more square feet to pour. So that's gonna be cheap. I said that right, 13,500 square feet more.
I don't know, too many.
Yeah.
A lot.
So we need to put some batteries in this, right?
We do.
So look, pop the top, double A's. Whoa, do you carry around batteries in your back pocket?
I do here.
That's weird. By the way, we were dismayed when we went to Harbor Freight and they stopped selling these because they were out.
Yeah.
So it's
Sad
okay.
day.
So now we had to upgrade to Amazon Basics. So
Yep.
they were like 7 times more expensive.
No.
That's how crappy these are.
Twice. More than twice.
These are so cheap that they literally pay you to take them. They're like, hey, there's a whole pallet back there. Do you want the pallet?
I would have bought the whole pallet if they had a pallet when I went there.
Why are they so hard to open? Goodness gracious.
No. Just
I'm
crack
kind of a
the
strong person.
package.
Look at that.
Here, I need those back.
Okay. Just in case. Keep them warm, hon.
Okay.
Okay, flat goes to the spring. Flat goes to the spring. By the way, battery manufacturers, start printing the milliamp hours expected so that we can compare and contrast why this is better. If you want to know how to tell a AA is better or worse, weigh it on a scale. And if it's very light, then you are getting garbage. Like these, they are garbage. But there is a trade-off to that. When you have a crappy battery that leaks, you will generally have less leakage because there's not as much chemistry going on in there. Okay, turn it on. Oh yeah, that flashes you. Whoa, and it beeps. Throttle up, throttle down. That's how you arm it. Now, if this was batteried, it would be spinning into my side right now, okay? So don't do that until you're ready. One touch aerobatics, pull the stick. One touch aerobatics, move the stick. One touch aerobatics, move the stick. By the way, they changed the stick design and I do not like it.
Oh, really?
They're smooth on the side. That's a terrible, terrible design choice. Yeah, that's terrible. Do we have one over here?
Yeah, we should.
Okay, I need to show the people. By the way, Facebook Data Center over here is trying to auto balance this particular battery. If you want to show them what I mean by Facebook Data Center.
It might be all the way down on the bench.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not easy to reach either.
Probably not.
Okay. Just show them the Facebook Data Center and what we mean by that. No, there's not one up here. So, Camera Crew has misled your favorite RC host.
I'm never wrong. Hold on.
Yeah, you didn't tell the truth. Full truth, nothing but the truth. So help us God. But I'll show you an example on an RC era. This is the stick design that we've been using on El Cheapo transmitters for years. It's a 2-piece design. This unscrews, okay? This is 99.9% of the time, this is the style. You'll notice that they are sharp. Sharp matters.
Yes.
If you're a serious pilot, they will be more and more sharp and more aggressive because sharpness is what you use so they don't slip off of your fingers, okay? You're probably thinking to yourself, good lordy lord, it can't be that bad. I can't handle this anymore. I'm unplugging it.
Okay.
But we're gonna check it with the XBC 200 battery checker.
It's not gonna get old.
Never. Okay, stick it in. Oh yeah. 97, 96, dang it. Okay, so whatever. I guess we can't get a full cup. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna plug this in right here. Booyah. And we'll see if it keeps charging. I doubt it will. So anyway, just side-by-side comparison. If you guys are curious, for whatever reason, somebody decided to save $1 on transmitter sticks. Why? Your guess is as good as mine, because that is crappy. It's slick on the side, not good, and it's not sharp on the top. Whoever decided this, fire that guy. And then go back and hire the guy who did this and copied it from some other transmitter factory or whatever. Because that is what all the manufacturers were using. I don't care what brand, if you're making a cheap transmitter, we still need sticks that are not gonna slip off our fingers. Feel how slick that is.
No, I know, I did.
I'm deadly serious. No. It's a big deal. This is a huge miss. So, X-Hobby, Volantex, we don't care who made it, fix the problem. That is asinine stupidity right there.
But now I do want to actually go find an old Volantex one. But
I'm giving you 100% guarantee that they did not use those sticks.
I feel what you're saying.
Oh, it's terrible. They're slick as water.
Ice.
What'd you think
ice? You could come up with something
It's so slick. Somebody's going to crash this poor airplane. And they finally have a beautiful, which by the way, I got to say, that is one of the most beautiful. There is kind of like, it's like, there's some, like maybe they hit a monkey.
It's his like ear thing. What are you
No, it's not. It's glue.
Oh, that. I was looking past that.
But yeah, this is a really awesome looking pilot. And I gotta say, very impressed with that. Okay, so let's energize this plane. How do you energize the plane safely? Yeah, I know it's backwards, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug this in, red to red, black to black. You cannot plug it in wrong unless you force it. And if you have to cram it, you did it wrong. Woo, very fancy. Okay, so then stuff that in there. There's probably some instructions on where it's supposed to sit. We are gonna neglect those instructions.
Yes,
you wanna know why? Because they're probably wrong anyway.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does. It does. The center of gravity. Ooh, that's a really nice cover though.
It is.
Okay. All right, so we lay it down, we turn it on. Booyah. Now, ooh, it snapped to life already. Look at this.
Oh.
So I don't know if I have to arm it all the way up, all the way down. Oh, wow. Okay, so now let's talk about this for a minute. Is this 2 or 3S compatible, or is it just 2S compatible?
This is 2S, but the 400 millimeters are only 1S, right?
Yeah, they've been 1S forever. But I'm just saying, this is 2S.
I don't believe it's 3S.
Look at this, guys. That has some power. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it fly. Now, is it gonna be enough power to fly? I'm assuming, because 1-to-1 power to weight ratio is gonna get you that type of vertical. This is gonna have like near unlimited vertical. And then also, you're gonna notice that it's fairly quiet, which is kind of cool too. So let's talk about the controls. If you don't know how to fly an airplane, elevator up, elevator down. Man, that stick is slick. Roll left, roll right, yaw left, yaw right. And you also notice the steerable tail wheel is gonna move just like the rudder. But look, that's the maximum throw, and that's the maximum throw, so I'm assuming we're gonna have some complications with ground handling in that it's not gonna wanna control this way. By the way, when you have P factor involved, AKA there's torque from that prop spinning, this prop is mounted with almost no cant. There's a little bit down and tiny bit maybe to the right. Not enough, in my opinion. I bet it's gonna just yaw and flip over like crazy if you're not careful. So when you give it full throttle, just remember it's gonna wanna flip on you, okay? So then there is expert, mid, and beginner, okay? So beginner is towards your belly, expert's out here. You'll notice you don't hear anything shaking and moving, okay? That's because in expert, the stabilizer's turned off, okay? And then there's mid, which is gonna be stabilizer, and it looks like it's probably gonna maybe also still auto level, which I don't understand. Volantex, X-Hobby, whoever's making this thing, give us a mode with a stabilizer only. Then give us a mode with auto leveling. I don't need some like middle mode. Like I want auto leveling for people that are needing help flying. And then I want stabilized for people that want a stabilizer in a quality plane. You're finally starting to make some pretty dang high quality planes. Just do the thing that everybody else is doing, okay? So there is almost nobody flies a dinky plane like this without a stabilizer. Almost nobody. There are people that fly like that, and I think that that would be the third mode. So you have an off setting, then you have a stabilizer setting, then you have an auto leveling with the stabilizing setting.
Yep.
That's not what we have here. We have an off setting, then we have an auto leveling and stabilizer, but like less limited bank angles or something. And then we have like more limited bank angles with auto leveling and stabilizing. Come on, guys. Seriously. Advance through the ranks like everybody else. Stabilizer and auto leveling. Stabilizer only and off. That's what we want. It's always been that way. That's Brian Phillips RC telling you what hundreds of thousands of other people have told us and what we expect. Okay? Let's not go backward. Okay? Like when we have $3,000 helicopters that don't come out of auto leveling. Are you kidding me? And you have to relearn to event the wheel so that you can learn the flight controller for 14 hours.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Okay, so let's talk about other awesome things. First of all, paint livery is beautiful. Paint quality, jigging is beautiful. This is better paint work than we've seen on many planes 5 times this size, okay? This is impeccable paint job. I don't like that there's glue on the canopy, not a big deal. This is not currently glued, by the way. We could glue it, but you don't technically have to glue it. If you're gonna glue it, my suggestion is to use a thing called China glue. China glue. This is China glue, okay? I got this from FMS. If you don't have that and you wanna get it from like Horizon, when you're ordering a little Spectrum like satellite receiver or something, you get foam to foam, okay? This stuff is cheap, this stuff is cheap. They're almost exactly the same price per unit, okay? I slightly prefer China glue to foam, but foam to foam is like legal and they have like all the warnings. Like just don't eat it. This is the rule of thumb, okay? If you wanna find it, just go to bprc.me/supplies or just go to brianphillipsrc.com and then click on the tab that says supplies. Now, I'm gonna show you how to apply China glue. It's very simple, and you're probably like, what is China glue? Is that just like some racist comment? No, it's not. It's called China glue everywhere. So, even in China, it's called China glue. So it's like a mucilage type glue, okay? Which is like a tree bark sort of thing, or like a
rubber cement.
Like a rubber cement. Okay, so you get a little bit on there. Wipe off some, okay, in this case. It's just super stringy, very clear, okay? And then I'm gonna stick it in and I'm just gonna work it. Ooh, yeah, like that. Look at the strings, look at the strings. See the strings? Mm-hmm. That's how you know it's working, okay? Work it, and then, like, you won't believe me, guys. Can I hold this by the plane? Can I hold the whole plane by this now? Probably. The answer is yes, but it is pulling out slowly, okay? You guys see that? I have confidence in China glue. It finally broke free. Now, if you let that sit and cook for like 2 minutes or 30 seconds or whatever, stick it back in there, it will be in there. So strong you can hold the whole plane by it, okay? So anybody who has any questions about foam to foam versus China glue, there isn't a huge difference in quality. I feel like the China glue is, sometimes you'll get a little bit more yellowing, but it's very unusual for it to come out of the tube anything other than crystal clear. The foam to foam comes out crystal clear, but it gets a skin on it. And so it doesn't cook off right, always. So it's more of like, if you have to stick a part and get deep penetration, then it works better for that, because China glue will get so tacky that you can't stick it in. Like, you have to let it cook off part, and it's contact adhesive. So you gotta put fresh glue on there just to lubricate your penetration so it's moist, okay? Oh, there it is, look, here it is. So I'm serious, like, watch this. This is how hard it is to penetrate when you've got cooked off glue. Watch this. It's like hard to press in now, watch. Okay, now it's in. Now I understand it's kind of at an angle, it's just the way it hangs, okay? Look at that. I'm trying to make it pop off, and it won't. That is gonna be glued. Now you could use CA too. CA would work, but like this foam will be fine with CA. You could use regular CA on this, it's gonna be okay. I think this is like an EPO type foam, okay? It's also got a little bit of rigidity, but it's got a little bit of flex. Now, when you compare that to a more expensive hobby grade-esque type model like this, which is considerably more expensive and a little bit bigger, this is a mini, this is gonna have more of an EPS. You would not put CA on this, okay? It's a little bit higher density than what we would get on an older style UMX, but some of the best flying planes are made of EPS because EPS is lighter than EPO. But EPO is gonna hold up to the rigors of the lesser experienced pilots crashing into their garages more frequently.
Right.
And also this has a pop-off prop, that doesn't. But we did have a pop-up prop on a plane the other day, and I'm trying to remember which one it was.
Oh, the UMX erratics.
Yeah, exactly. So that was pretty cool. And so, yeah, man, that is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. So when you're using this plane, let's talk about one other thing. Let's do the one-touch aerobatics. So I'm in beginner. Okay, throttle. One-touch aerobatics. Pull back on the stick. You see the elevator? It's a time-based function. See, watch. One-touch aerobatics. Roll. 1, 2. See? One-touch aerobatics the other way. 1, 2, 3. See? And so it is a function of time, not necessarily a complete function of feedback. There is some feedback on the roll, I think, meaning on the barrel roll, because if it's got the better flight controller, it will hold altitude to a certain extent, okay? Now keep in mind, one-touch aerobatics, if you set this up with an off-brand transmitter, a non-ready to fly, there will be a channel, and you have to identify what that channel is. I am not aware of what it is, but the channel just gets assigned as a momentary push button, and then you would just actuate the same way you would do anything else, okay? So very cool. That's your Unbox Build radio setup from Brian Phillips RC. We hope we answered all your questions that you might have about this Spitfire from Volantex RC. You'll notice it says Volantex RC here, and then it says X Hobby here. Now, we work with all these brands, okay? So when we challenge a brand's decision-making, like with these flight modes, that's not to take away from the things that are really good on this model, but we also don't sit back and pretend like there's not problems, okay? We do that with all the brands we work with. If we see something we think, you know, like it'd be cool to see LEDs on these small models. And no, I don't want some stupid exhaust LED. I want like just nav lights. Yeah. Just true to scale nav lights, small ones that are beautiful. We would love to see that. And I gotta say, these models are getting really good, okay? The last two that we did were almost UMX grade, okay? And when I say UMX grade, you're talking about a considerably more expensive model, and they're usually in a bind and fly configuration. So you have to provide a transmitter in order to fly them, and it has to be a Spectrum transmitter or at least a DSMX capable. This would be DSM2 with a small receiver, and they usually come as a satellite receiver, and it's got a serial connection.
Yeah.
And then that's how it does what it's gonna do. It's powered from inside here, so you get a little small thing about the size of, you know, like half of a dime. And we have done that before. So I think it was a P47, and it was from a competitive brand offering.
Yep.
And we did set it up, and it did work, but that particular plane sucked. It was bad, it didn't balance out. Do they talk about the CG, by the way?
They do not, but they do talk about the compatible protocols.
Okay.
There is information.
What are they?
DSM and S-Bus.
They're not compatible protocols. You have to provide a receiver.
Well, if you have, yes, but they have there's the port is available.
Yeah.
Yes, but then yes, you have to provide your receiver and your own transmitter.
By the way, and then full disclosure, some of the Volantex RC planes that do have that input are not as easy to get to. Okay?
Right.
So keeping in mind, if you really hard on to do DSMX, you can do that. Now, if you want to use an OpenTX, I don't know what the standard protocol is. Did it mention
it? It does not.
So 9 times out of 10, you could get them. It's not that big a deal, but I do not know what it is, okay? So that being said, if you decide to do that, it's also a tight environment in there. You're not gonna have tons and tons of spaces to put it, so you're gonna have to work through that, okay? Oh, also sub 250 status is the next question that people are gonna be asking. So we're gonna get out the handy dandy kitchen scale, and we're gonna measure just how heavy this is before your very eyes. Remember, this is all up weight for the drone registry, stupid whatever protocol for remote ID. We're just gonna put this on here. And, oh, look at that, 134 grams. So just to give you an idea, high quality UMX might come in at like 100 grams, okay? In fact, we don't do this often. Side-by-side comparisons are not usually what we're trying to do on these, but just to give you an idea, one of the better flying, more amazing, and we use this plane, the Waco, is awesome, okay? Let's show you just how heavy this is. Now, keep in mind, this is not batteried up, okay? So, yeah, so 93, 94 grams. So this is a considerably bigger plane because of the biplane status. It's very light. Light means you can fly slower and still fly. That does not mean it's easier to fly. It does not necessarily mean it's better to fly, but in general, not necessarily, but in general, lighter planes tend to fly better. But well-balanced planes fly good even if they are heavy. Case in point, Draco 2 meter. Flies great, very heavy. It's like a 10-pound plane. That plane, the Micro Draco, flies exactly like it. That is a micro, not an ultra micro. So not a UMX. Ultra micro extreme, okay? So what are the drawbacks on this model? The drawbacks are, why do we not have better modes? And why did they switch the stick style? The stick style is probably not going to make a big difference to the layman, but to somebody like me that has had literally thousands of different transmitters in my hands, I immediately felt it. Immediately felt it. It was not a question, do not pass go, do not collect $200. I did not have a question in my mind. I could tell immediately. It felt weird, okay? So the good news is you could probably use one of your old transmitters from Volantex and it should work fine, okay? So that being said, the binding procedure is quite simple. If you're just using the stock program, I believe all you do is just turn on the transmitter, stick up, stick down while having power of the plane, okay? So that's the other thing I want to remind you about is if you have more than one of these and you're trying to bind them together or bind them to use them in close proximity to one another, be careful about that because you don't want to turn on your buddy's plane and bind to that, okay? So just be careful. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. This has a solid green light on the charger. So let's take a look with the XBC 100. Whoa, just changing things up here, guys. So this is gonna plug in, negative is going toward camera crew. You can see we're at about 94%. So these things evidently don't like to charge all the way, okay? And we're at 75% after playing around. Now I must say, that also does slightly concern me because when I just charged a battery and all I did was run the prop for, well, we did actually run the throttle for a second, didn't we? So that's actually not a concern. I take it back. My concern is well-founded, except I was wrong, okay? My concern was gonna be, why is the battery not holding charge? Because we ran the throttle.
Yeah.
I forgot that, guys. So if you're wondering about batteries and battery safety, the biggest thing is keep where you can see, keep where you can hear, and just be in close proximity. Hard surfaces are gonna greatly improve your safety, and small batteries are not that big a deal unless you charge them on the carpet while smoking in bed in like 3 apartments down or whatever it is. We have tons of batteries. Batteries are the most dangerous part of this hobby. Just protect them. Higher quality batteries tend to be safer because you're gonna have better balance and better discharge as well as better charge. Now, that being said, if you use smart batteries, then they will auto discharge. These are not smart batteries, they won't auto discharge. So my suggestion is charge what you need, fly what you need, and then when you're done, you don't have to worry about auto discharging, but don't go ahead and charge them until you're ready to kind of commit to another flight experience, okay? So if you're flying on Saturday and you're going out there and you got 6 or 7 batteries, charge them up, go fly, and then when you come in, just check them, make sure they're around 3.8 volts or so, and then put them away, okay? You can actually plug them into a S2200 and discharge them, but my suggestion is always just use them if you can. But there is a discharge system on the more capable chargers, okay? Not the provided ready to charge or ready to fly charger, okay? All right, so if you have questions, as usual, leave in the comments below. Brian Phillips RC tries our best not to leave you guys high and dry. However, there are sometimes things I don't know about these models, and so even if you just leave the comment and I don't get to it, somebody else from the community will usually step up and answer, but I can't always make that promise, and I can't make it to 100% of comments because we are spread really thin right now. We are, as you know, building the damn gift shop, which is just tongue-in-cheek for a big, huge building that we're putting together for the aerodrome, which is at Brian Phillips RC. So It has been challenging for a variety of reasons, but there is finally progress. And if it weren't so dark, we would show you right now because you can see what the building is going to look like. And it's pretty awesome. So 60 by 104 by 20, and there's a lot more to come on that. And the intersection's just freshly been poured, but we're going to be doing probably another 170 feet by 12. That's a 12-foot wide runway. This one that we fly off of normally is about 10-foot minimum or 11-foot minimum to about 14-foot wide and about 300 feet long. But we are on the crest of a hill. That's going to be going down and then back up a hill. So it's really exciting to see all this stuff come together. And one of the principal reasons that we can put all this stuff together is because I'm married to a woman that's awesome. And then secondly, because you guys are here to support us and help us grow this channel. And then also I have a 20-year career working on industrial scales, and I make a good living doing that. So thanks to all the people that helped make this stuff happen, because we couldn't do it without all the people stirring the pot, okay? So if you want to stir the pot and help us row the boat in the right direction and help get people excited about the RC habit, addiction, hobby, that's what it is. I knew it was one of those things. Then look no further than the links in the video description below. You can buy this plane and help support Brian Phillips RC. You don't pay any extra. If there's coupons and bonus bucks or whatever it is, programs that you've got, credit card rewards, all that stuff still works. They just know that we sent you there, and they quite literally pay us for that. That's called commission, and it works. And it actually does add up over time. And you'll notice we still pointed out many things we weren't crazy about on this plane, because it's not that hard to tell the truth. Okay? It really isn't. Some people have a hard time with it. Our experience has always been, and this is the truth, we get a $3,000 helicopter and we find problems with it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the most expensive helicopter we've ever had. Okay? Yep. We have very expensive airplanes that we've had problems with. We've had very cheap airplanes that have worked near flawlessly. We had a little P-51 that doesn't look like a P-51 the other day. It's modeled after a Zero. Worked really good. Super fun. Amazed us. Okay, that sort of thing happens all the time on Brian Phillips RC. Now, that being said, we're realists and we know that you guys have limited budgets. So when you're here, we're going to tell you the full truth so that you can make a decision based on that reality that your experience, not ours, okay? Because not everybody has 600 or 700 planes in their house, okay? Because that is unusual. If you're like me, congratulations, welcome to the addiction. But if you're like a normal person, you got 20 of them, you know, and your wife's not going to let you get 7 more. You got to sell one off or crash one or whatever. We want to help you guys make good calls, okay? Now, if you're brand new to the hobby or just returning to the hobby, you are exactly where you want to be, because we're going to help get you there. We're going to teach you about protocols. We're going to teach you about transmitters. We're going to tell you when sticks are not quite what they should be, okay? Because if you don't have a basis for comparison, you're not going to realize they cheaped out on these gimbals. And they are very cheap. They've always been cheap, but the sticks now are also cheap, which is very bizarre. Also, we're going to help give you a consistent side-by-side comparison by doing the same process across the board on RC, okay? So we're not going to give a special shake to one brand versus the other brand. We do have favorites, just like everybody, okay? And we try to, you know, sort of share that bias. But if you're here to just pick an awesome Christmas present for somebody that might be like really interested in aviation, but you don't know where to start, here's how you can figure it out. Find out what they do and where they are, what level they're on, and then kind of compare that to this. This would be what we would call a very good toy grade into the echelon of hobby grade, okay? Now, I'll be able to confirm that theory when we fly it, but I haven't flown it yet, okay? The previous like the F4U Corsair that I showed on this, that was very dangerously close to hobby grade, okay? The P-51, dangerously close to hobby grade. It's got a good size, it's got a good feel, but it's still not quite there, largely because we've got such cheap transmitters involved, and also because of the mode decisions that they're making. If they fix that, boy, they are right on the edge. And plus, because you can't put a DSMX or DSM2 receiver in here, a satellite receiver, or S-Bus, you can actually put it on your Futaba receiver or transmitter, or your OpenTX transmitter would go right to this out of box if you have the right protocol. I just don't know what that is, I'm sorry. So lots of things to consider, and then you get past the crappy gimbals, and you have a really good flight experience from a cheap, cost-effective airplane, okay? So that's the full truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God. If you want to support Brian Phillips RC in other ways, we have Patreon for monthly support, YouTube members for monthly support, one-time thanks, super thanks on YouTube, and then PayPal if you don't want to be part of those clubs, but you still want to support us and you just can't bring yourself to buy another plane. We understand. There's always times and places for these. And if you guys are just exiting the hobby, but you're still interested in what's going on, stay tuned. There's always something right around the corner. It might wet your whistle again and get you back, okay? This is kind of an oscillation, a cyclical thing for most people in the hobby. People come in, people go, they have reasons for leaving and coming back. We want to welcome you back. That's what we're going to do on Brian Phillips RC. And if you're 10 years deep in this and you're just like us and you just love this stuff and you can't get enough of it, you're in the right place too, okay? All right, so thanks for watching, guys. There's so much more right around the corner on Brian Phillips RC. Remember, also check out bprc.me. That's our website. And if you want to spell it out all the way, it's brianphillipsrc.com. It's spelled in several places on the screen. And if you want to send us an email or send us something in the P.O. box, hit us up on the About tab on Brian Phillips RC right here on YouTube. Keep in mind, you can sort through all the stuff sorted by type on Brian Phillips RC or brand, okay? So like if you want to look at all the Volantex RC X-Hobby planes, you can do that side by side. Or if you want to compare and contrast ultra micro style planes, you can do that as well. Or warbirds, okay? Or general aviation, or airliners, or, you know, wood planes. There's lots of different ways we've sorted them. And the camera crew keeps things up to date, which is pretty sweet. So thanks for watching, guys. Did I leave anything out? No stone unturned on Brian Phillips RC. That's why these are short videos. Come back for more. Thanks for watching.